Alright guys, today we're here with the Oculus Quest 2, and today we're here to talk about tips and tricks for the Oculus Quest. I've been putting it through its paces for the past few days, and obviously I had an original Quest, so I know a lot of tips and tricks over the last year and a half when it comes to a bunch of different features like, payment refunds, streaming gameplay, wireless headphones, for Bluetooth, all those different kind of tips and tricks that most people want to know about when they just got a Quest 2, or if they've had a Quest 1 and they're looking for tips and tricks. That's what this video is, to help all you guys with all your questions you may have and give you guys some tricks along the way. Let's go ahead and get into the video.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech, going for a recce is the gaming tech, gaming techie is the gaming tech, gaming techie.
Alright guys, so for the first thing we're talking about privacy settings for Facebook. Now, as we all know, if you buy an Oculus Quest 2, even if you had an Oculus Quest 1, as soon as you buy a the version 2, you're going to have to log in with your Facebook account. The only people grandfathered in till 2023 are the people who continue to use their Quest 1. If you go and buy in Quest 2, they're going to force you to use your Facebook account login. I personally don't have a problem with that. But that's a different topic for a different day. But today, I'm here to show you guys, if you look at the actual, on your phone, if you open up the Oculus app, you can actually look through your privacy settings, and I wanted to show you guys how you can actually go through your privacy settings and change it. So under the account privacy settings, if you look underneath there's a bunch of different settings that you can change here that you guys should be aware of. Most importantly, there at the bottom is your Facebook name. That's something that you don't want to share unless if it's your Facebook friends or to yourself, however you want to do it, but you probably don't want to share it to everyone. You want just your Oculus name to be shown with everyone, because your Facebook name will be separate than which is obviously your real name versus what your Oculus username is. So make sure that you go in there and make sure that it's either set to Facebook friends only or to only yourself if you want, and then that way only everybody sees your regular Oculus name. So another tip and trick to talk about here at number 2 is the installing of software. So as you know, if you put the Quest on, you can sit there and click on all the different software while you're browsing the store and install it. But one thing that a lot of people don't know is that you can install software remotely. So I have my Quest 2 sitting here and it's already on, it's on standby mode. If you open up the Oculus app again, you can actually go in there and you can browse the library and browse the store of whatever app you either own or purchase now. And if you scroll towards the bottom, you'll see that you can just start downloading it right on the Quest, and then it will start downloading and will tell you when it's done, because it will change from queued to actually installed, so you'll know that it's installed in the headset and ready to go. So if you don't want to have that headset on the whole entire time waiting for it to download because it's a 12 gigabyte game like The Walking Dead or something like that, this is an easy way to do that. Have your Quest on standby mode, find your Quest, install it, and that's it. The only thing you need to make sure is that you need to make sure that the Oculus Quest is actually paired on your Oculus app. So when you go into the Oculus app into your settings, you'll see that the Oculus Quest will show up there as long as it's finding it. If not, you could just tap it and it will search for the Oculus Quest that's around you. As long as it's powered on, it will find it and pair itself. The next thing to talk about here is pass-through. The pass-through is basically a feature that is on the Oculus Quest. So if you have the Oculus Quest headset on and you're playing a game or you're on the store or whatever you may be doing, and somebody comes in front of you that's not in VR with you, like your girlfriend, your wife, your friend, and they're trying to have a conversation with you, you don't need to take the headset off anymore. You can actually just go into pass-through mode. Pass-through mode basically means that you just tap on the side button and you'll see the outside view. And the way you do that is you have to enable pass-through in the feature. So you go to settings on your Oculus Quest, and then you go into experimental features. And in experimental features, you'll actually see the pass-through setting. Once you enable that pass-through setting, all you have to do is double tap on the side of your headset now. So you take the headset and you basically give it a double tap either here or a double tap here, and it will enable pass-through that way. And then you'll be able to see the outside world. The next thing we want to talk about is your virtual environment. Now, your virtual environment is the Oculus Quest home screen. As soon as you turn on your Quest and you're sitting in that, landscape and stuff like that while you're browsing the menus and looking through your friends list, the default one that's in there is not the only option that you have. You can actually change your virtual environment. If you go into your settings and you click on virtual environments there on the left, you see all the different virtual environments that you can click on and download that Oculus has made available. And they usually release them every once in a while. The newest one that a lot of people like is the cyberpunk-ish one that is like you're in a cyberpunk world. So that one's really cool. But you can explore all the different ones that are in here, and that's an easy way to change your virtual environment. You're not just stuck with the one that it comes with. There are a few more options for you to change it to. One of the other things that a lot of people like to talk about is hand tracking. Now, hand tracking is for all you guys who don't know, you don't actually have to use these controllers to actually be able to use your Oculus Quest in some experiences. There are a couple of games out there like Elixir, like Wizards, what's the name of that game? Waltz of the Wizard. And, you know, if you're on the main menu browsing through the browser and stuff like that, you can actually just use your physical hands, no controllers needed. But it's not enabled by default. So by default, it won't actually turn on. So if you go into settings and then you go into device on the left-hand side, you'll see an option there for hand tracking. Once you turn that on, it's going to prompt you for your device to restart. Your device will then restart. And then basically anytime that it sees your hands but no controllers in your hands, it will enable hand tracking on it by default. You'll see your hands tracking, and you can basically use that while you're browsing the web or scrolling through menus and stuff. Or like I said, some of those experiences that are out there like Elixir and like Waltz of the Wizard and stuff that just you can use your hands for the whole entire experience. So there's some really, really cool experiences out there. Definitely try the hand tracking demo that Oculus made specifically for the Quest 2. That's a really good introduction to how to use your hands. Short little like 2-minute demo to show you how to navigate menus and stuff. But hand tracking is cool, and something that everybody should definitely try out. Another thing that people are talking about with this headset that we need to address is the 90 Hertz mode. Now, by default, Oculus has not enabled 90 Hertz mode for apps. So for games and apps, even though there are some apps out there that have been updated for 90 Hertz mode, until Oculus lets those apps use that feature, they're not actually outputting 90 Hertz. The only thing that you can do for the time being in 90 Hertz mode is the main menu in the browser. So when you're in that Oculus interface, browsing through stuff, looking through your friends list and stuff and using the browser, those are actually using 90 Hertz mode, but you have to actually enable it. This is another thing that's actually an experimental feature. So again, if you go into settings and then experimental features on the Oculus app there, you will see that 90 Hertz mode is listed there. You just have to turn that on, and I believe it also prompts you to restart as well, and then 90 Hertz mode will be turned on. And again, that will just be for the time being for the main menu and for the browser. They expect to bring it to Oculus Link, and they expect to bring it to other apps here soon. They said shortly after launch, so we'll see how long that takes. A lot of the things that people always ask about when it comes to the Quest 2 coming from the Quest 1 is, do my lens adapters from VR Optician and Winmo still work on the Oculus Quest 2? And as somebody who wears glasses and has a VR Optician and Winmo lenses, they do indeed work. You can see that I have them right here. I don't know if you can see that very well, but I do have them installed on there for the lenses, and they do work really well. And anybody who uses glasses, the first thing I would do once you get your Quest, if you're trying to save up money, is get lens adapters, because it makes a huge difference. First of all, on the Quest 2, it's already hard to fit your glasses in there, a little bit harder than it was on the Quest 1. Some people are having some issues with being able to fit their glasses in there, even with the spacer that's included. I didn't even bother. I didn't put this in there at all because I already had the lens adapters. But it is not only for comfort, but it just adds, like, obviously I wear glasses and I do have contacts, but the fact that I can wear something and see naturally without having to either wear glasses and contacts is kind of a surreal experience for somebody who's worn glasses since he was a kid. Being able to just use a headset and not feel contacts in my eyes and not have glasses on is awesome, and makes VR obviously clear, and you don't have any issues with it. So that is my number one recommendation for people who wear glasses, is save the money and go ahead and get some lenses, because it's a great experience once you do. The next thing we want to talk about is the onboard audio. So the onboard audio, as you guys know, there's only one 3.5 millimeter jack now on the Oculus Quest 2. There used to be two, so now there's only one. So if you're using individual things that need to have two 3.5 millimeter jacks, they will no longer work. But what does work is this does have onboard audio. And the onboard audio is not terrible. It's not that bad. I would urge people to try it before they go and splurge out money for a specific headset. But I do have a headset because I do like audio, and I have a home theater, and I like things loud. And this is the one I have. This is the official Logitech Oculus Quest 2, and I'll have a review up while you're watching this video. So if you want to check out a full review on how good these are and if they're recommended for me for the Oculus Quest 2, go ahead and watch that review. But they do work, and all you need is a short cable is best, and you plug it into the side of it, and you will get much better audio on the Oculus Quest 2. So if you're an audiophile, or if you're somebody who likes loud, music and stuff, you play Beat Saber a lot and music games like that, then something to look into. And it does work with any regular headset if you want it to. Any headset that you use with 3.5 millimeter will work just fine. The next thing a lot of people probably want to know about are the people who use ProTube. As you can see, I have a ProTube right here that I've had using on my original Quest. And a lot of the question that I get is, does it work with the new controllers, or do I need the new adapters? Now, ProTube is selling new adapters But what I found, I didn't actually order them yet, is that these fit actually just fine. If I take one of these controllers here and I put the strap through here for a second, you got to put the strap here through the bottom. And you kind of just pull it through there while you're putting the controller in. And then you put the controller in there. You can see it holds the controller well and it fits in there nicely. So I don't have any issues with it when I'm using the ProTube. And I don't really see a reason on why you would want to get the other adapters. I mean, this seems to fit well for me. I mean, it doesn't go in there super tight. It's not like you saw me squeeze it in there really hard or anything. It's in there as it should be, and no marks or anything are left. So it seems like this is probably fine if you already have the original Quest ones for the ProTube. It looks like it's going to work perfectly fine for you. So you shouldn't have any issues using ProTube with the Quest 2 controllers. The next thing I want to talk about is 3D movies. Now, I am a huge fan of 3D movies in general. You know, I have a 3D projector. I have a 3D screen for my computer still running 3D games. I have a PlayStation TV over there that's 3D. You know, I'm a big fan of 3D Blu-rays and all that stuff. But when I first tried a 3D movie in big screen in VR, my mind was blown because it is much better to watch 3D movies in VR than it would be even on my amazing home theater with my projector. The depth that you get in 3D and the pop-out effect that you get in 3D is so much better on the Oculus Quest, or not in the Oculus Quest, just VR in general. So I urge you guys, for those who are fans of 3D, or you're not sure if you were fans, or you thought it was terrible because your eyes got strained when it was first out in theaters and stuff, I urge you to get onto big screen. It's a free app. Go into their 3D trailers, which is a free room, and they show 3D trailers and stuff, and experience 3D, because it's freaking awesome in a home theater environment in VR, and something that I love doing in VR, and I urge you guys to try. The next thing we need to talk about is for VR newcomers. So for those of you guys who are getting into the Quest 2 for the first time, and you have and you want to try, you know, the best experience and stuff, and all you keep hearing about is Population 1, Onboard, Contractors, all those games that are, you know, really popular on the Quest, but I wouldn't urge newcomers to try that because they may be discouraged and then think, oh my god, I'm getting dizzy immediately, and I might have to return this Quest because I'm just dizzy. No, you need to build up to those experiences. You need to start with the smaller stuff. You know, start with games that are rated comfortable. On the store, if you go to the Oculus store on your app, when you're either browsing on the Quest or you're browsing through the actual iPhone store, or sorry, on the actual store on the Oculus app, you'll see the ratings for the actual applications. You'll see if they're rated comfortable or intermediate or intense. And if they're rated intense, like some of those games like Onboard are, keep that in mind. Start with the games that are, that are not intense, the ones that are easy, then build yourself up to intermediate, and then eventually get to those other ones. Because there's a thing in terminology when it comes to the VR world, this is building up your VR legs. And it's 100% true. When I first started in VR a few years ago, I got into VR and I was playing a bunch of different things because I was a YouTuber, and there were certain experiences that got me dizzy and got me the sensation of, like, you know, wanting to take the headset off and about to feel like I'm going to throw up. I don't get that anymore at all. Sometimes it impresses me when I play a game like Onward and Solaris and stuff like that, and I don't get dizzy at all anymore. And those are great experiences now because I have built my VR legs up for the last, few years. And obviously it doesn't take that long for you guys. It will just take, a month. If you get dizzy in VR and you're playing an experience and you're getting dizzy, don't try to power through it the first time you do it, because you're going to immediately get sicker and sicker, and then you're going to get out of that VR headset and you're going to be sick for a day or 4 hours or 6 hours. So definitely don't do that. What you need to do is, as soon as you feel sick, take it off, take a break, come back to it the next day or a few hours later if it's making you sick, and then you'll see that you progressively can play that experience longer and longer and longer, and then eventually you won't feel anything at all. So something to keep in mind for all the VR newcomers coming into the Quest 2. The next thing we want to talk about is the Oculus Quest 2 being able to play PC VR games. Now, you can use an Oculus Link cable. You can use the official Oculus cable that they sell, which is $79. You basically plug it into the side of this headset, plug it into your PC, as long as your PC is powerful enough. So this doesn't mean you can play PC VR games just because you have an Oculus Quest 2. Your PC still needs to be a gaming PC that meets the requirements for VR, but now you don't need another headset. You plug in that cable to here, and you plug in that cable to the side, and then you put on your Quest 2 headset, and you'll see that once it's connected and you have the Oculus software installed on your PC, that you can just install Oculus Link and get that running, and you'll be able to play PC VR games on your Oculus Quest 2. Now, you don't need to use the official cable if you don't want to, but the official cable lets you basically It basically charges while you're using the Quest 2, as opposed to if you use a third-party cable that's going to be a lot cheaper, like $20 or $25. It will do the exact same thing, but you'll be relying on the Quest 2 battery because it won't charge at the same time. Only the official Oculus cable does, which is why it's more expensive. But the way I like to do it instead is Virtual Desktop. Virtual Desktop is an application that sits on the Quest store and lets you play all these VR games wirelessly. Now, I'm going to have a separate video coming in the next day or two on how to set up Virtual Desktop. It's really, really simple. I'll go through the steps with you guys and how to set it up. But basically, when you have all the steps set up, you basically can just open up Virtual Desktop on your Oculus headset. And once you open that up, you'll see a tab for Steam VR. You'll see a tab for Oculus. And all your games will be there. You click on them, and you're running wirelessly. So I'll get into that more in the video that's coming soon, but be aware that that is a feature that you can use. You can use it wirelessly. It does require side loading and stuff like that, but like I said, I'll get into that in the future video in the next day or two. The next thing I want to talk about here is streaming through Chromecast. So when you're playing VR and you want to, help a newcomer that's coming to your house, or you have just a bunch of people over and you want to see what they're seeing in the headset, so you can kind of laugh at what they're looking at or see the experience that they're looking at, you can do it with a Chromecast. So as long as you have a Chromecast in the house like I do, you can go into the app, you can go into settings, and then if you scroll down and you look at the top, sorry, not scroll down, to the top of that, there's a little Chromecast button. If you click on that Chromecast button, you hit refresh devices, it will find all the Chromecast devices around your home, and then you click on that, and then it will give you a prompt the first time on the headset, whoever's wearing it, to allow Chromecast, and then the Chromecast will appear with whatever they're viewing on the TV that you're looking at. So it's an easy way to share the experience with other people. And if you don't have a Chromecast, you can at least look at it on your phone. So if you're looking at if a new VR newcomer comes in there and you're trying to walk them through an experience or something and you want to see what they see, you can also cast it basically to your phone with the exact same method. You hit this phone instead of, you'll see an option for this phone as opposed to all the other Chromecasts on that list. And then you hit that and the exact same thing, and then you'll see what they see on your phone. So at least you get to see their view. But the Chromecast feature is good. It works pretty well for me. As long as you have good internet and good Wi-Fi, it shouldn't be any issue with you guys. There's a latency with the audio. It's a few seconds behind. But other than that, it works really well. Another thing I wanted to address here when it comes to audio again is Bluetooth. Now, Bluetooth is in the experimental features on the Oculus Quest 2, but it's not something that I recommend people use if you're playing any sort of music games or anything that requires audio to be precise, because the latency is just too great right now, which is why it's on their experimental features when it comes to Bluetooth headphones. So even though you can pair Apple AirPods to your Quest 2 and all the other Bluetooth devices, if it's a game like Beat Saber and Pistol Whip and stuff like that where you're relying on the audio, it's going to be a terrible experience because the delay is just far too great. Now, if you're playing a game that's just a story-based game and audio doesn't need to be exactly on time, it may work okay, but if you're looking at like their mouths moving, it may not sync up and stuff. So I wouldn't recommend a Bluetooth headset at all in its current state. I would recommend you get like headphones, like I said, with a 3.5 millimeter jack and plug it in if you want better audio than what's built in. But if you want to try it, it is there. Just be aware that the latency is not going to be good for music games and stuff like that, even though you can pair a headset. And if you want to do it, it's under settings and then experimental features, as we went over before, and you'll see Bluetooth there, and you can pair a Bluetooth device from there. One of the other things I want to talk about is the Oculus return policy. So if you buy a game and it ends up being that you end up getting sick and you can't get over it, or you just don't like the game for whatever reason, you have 2 hours or you have to play less than 2 hours of the game that you played, and also within 14 days. So as long as you have played the game for less than 2 hours and it's within 14 days, you can go into the Oculus app on your phone, then you go into settings, and then you look at the your purchase history from there. And once you're under your purchase history, you'll see all the games that you purchased, and then you tap the little 3 dots there. Once you tap on that, you'll see refund, and then you go through the refund process. You tell them to refund it, and then it will get refunded to you within a few days. So that's how you do the return. So it is available if you want it. Just make sure, like I said, you played less than 2 hours, or you're within the 14-day window. One of the other things I want to talk about here is one, I did a review on this already on the channel. If you want to check out a full review on it, is the VR cover. Now, the cover that came with the original Quest, I've actually already taken off, and I have the VR cover, as you can see, that's already on here, and that is one of the recommended upgrades that I suggest that everyone basically makes. Maybe when you get your Quest 2, if you don't want to buy it right away and you want to try it first, that's fine, because everyone's face is different. But in my opinion, the VR cover is basically a must. Like the cover that comes with your Quest 2 is not comfortable in my opinion, and it's worse than the one that came with the Quest 1. This one just feels like it's going to soak up a lot of sweat. So if you're passing this around to people and a lot of people are sweating, it's going to get like a mess. It's going to soak up sweat like crazy, and it's not going to be a good experience, and it's not going to be something you can easily clean because it's like a mesh material, like a microfoam material. So it's not something you can easily wash. With this one, with the material that it is, you can kind of just clean this surface off, and it's much easier to clean. So keep that in mind. Definitely one of the recommended upgrades for me, not only because of how easy it is to clean and showing people, but just I think this is much more comfortable than the one that comes stock with the Quest 2. And the last thing I want to talk about is the strap that comes with the Quest 2. The strap that comes with the Quest 2 here is not that great. When I wear this headset for like 40 minutes, my head on the back of my head starts hurting after wearing it, you know, and playing games and stuff. So I don't think it's that great. I mean, I like the fact that you can use it while laying down really easily because it's a soft strap. So if you put your head in like a pillow and you're watching a movie or something, that's probably the only time I'll use that strap. But for every other case when you're playing games and stuff, I recommend everyone go get the Pro strap that Oculus is selling. It is $49 or $129 if you want the one that has the battery built into it and it comes with the official Oculus case. But the Pro strap is just so much better. I don't have one yet, but I did try it for a friend who does have it already. And it is a much more comfortable headset that way. And it makes it more comfortable than the original Quest by far. And now makes it a really comfortable headset. I have mine coming in and I'll be doing a free review on the channel on it when it comes in. But as of right now, I don't have one. But I did try one at a friend's house and it did work really, really well. So that is one of my number one recommended upgrade for those who don't find the strap comfortable is definitely the Elite strap or the Elite Pro strap that Oculus is selling. And guys, that is all the tips and tricks that we have for today. I hope you guys found this video useful and you guys got something out of this and you found some tips and tricks that you guys weren't aware of before. If you guys have any questions about the Quest 2, you know, things that you may want to know about, things you want to know if you can do, definitely leave those questions down below and I'll be answering them for you guys. If you guys have anything else to talk about, leave those down below. If not, thank you guys for watching. Till next time.
Tech, gaming techie is the gaming tech, gaming techie, gaming tech. Eating brekkie is the gaming tech, going for a recce is the gaming tech, gaming techie is the gaming